spoke to an angel last night. Slid through the midnight mist, witnessed the moon divide. Showed me buried in black. I need to clear off my old mirror so my soul light shines back. Swinging rib to phone, our spirit's spine, residing somewhere inside the demon after divine. The demon after divine. There was an angel or three swarming all around me. An angel kissed me on the lips, laced with lights, love, and tears. It said, we're not just anyone but all below and above. Oh, damn your sick, selfish love. Another angel told me of its fate, faults, and fears. It sent its wings and given away for its halo to migrate into a twisted metal thorn crowned king with demon horns. With demon horns. The final angel brought the voice of our Father, cut off its wings to pass its vision of forever. Oh, Metatron whisper, sing our Father song. Oh, Metatron whisper, sing our Father song. And through the dead of night, it shone so bright, with the Father pointing to the right and holding up the moonlight. Come to Father, Savior, guiding light, night starlights.
So, hey, good evening, everyone. How are you all? Welcome to Fan Service, the official geeky podcast talk show thing of the Diabolical League of Awesome. We're doing things a little differently today because we're going to be doing Steampunk 101, and we've got some great guests. I am your ever-faithful host, Stone, the Daring Adventurer, and today I'm joined by Sidewinder, fully decked out in your steampunk garb. I can't talk all of a sudden. And we have Addison Mad, who just performed a song that was freaking awesome, by the way.
Well, thank you.
And we have Chris Rachel, is it Osland or Osland?
Osland. Chris Rachel Osland, author of Steam Drunks, 101 Steampunk Cocktails and Mixed Drinks.
You gotta love the title of the book, Steam Drunks. I mean, that's just freaking awesome right there. So today's topic, we're gonna forego videos, Geek Week news, because we have a lot to talk about. It's Steampunk 101. Now, steampunk was something that I used to just kind of look at like, oh, it's Jules Verne, yay, kind of fun. And you're laughing, but that's honestly what it was. And I'm like the ignorant masses. I'm like most people. That's what they think. Oh, yeah, but I went to Aetherfest. Is it Aetherfest or Aetherfest the first time they had it, and it all just kind of clicked. There's a reason behind it. So I want to start by talking about what exactly is steampunk to you guys. Let's start with you, Rachel.
Chris Rachel. I'm a second-generation science fiction fan, and I've got a master's degree in history, so I was naturally attracted to a science fiction fandom that had aspects of actual history in it. And for me, steampunk it has all the best aspects of 70s and 80s fandom that really got lost in the 90s and 2000s when a lot of the media things came in. Because it's the only fandom that you see. Like, if you look at old albums from, say, the 70s and 80s with the photos, everybody made up their costumes. It was crazy. And you couldn't do that anymore by the 90s. If you didn't show up in something that was a meticulous recreation of something you'd seen on TV or the movies, you were doing it wrong. And then steampunk, I feel, was a response to that in some ways, where everyone said, no, I want to be creative. I want to be able to do this myself. I want to have my own self-expression. So with steampunk, if you're doing like a meticulous recreation of something you've seen online or on TV, everyone goes, you're kind of doing it wrong, You should be doing something you should be like someone out of Make magazine, coming up with your own ideas and having your own really expressive self-creativity with it, and not just like, hey, I like Star Wars, and so I've made an incredible duplicate of a costume that somebody did on a movie.
Is that a Star Wars jab?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact.
I'm not
Get ready for more
sorry.
of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night for those. So what about you, Addison?
Steampunk to me is kind of I think my big thing is finding a lot of old stuff and giving it new life. Because it's such a throwaway culture for us nowadays that we don't really respect anything, and like honestly, they don't build it like they used to.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
I completely agree.
So like I mean, there's so many different genres of steampunk, dust punk, junk punk.
What is jump punk? 'Cause I don't think I've heard that one.
It's kind of a lot of stuff I do. If you look at the table over there with some of the stuff that I've
Which we're going to get to that table shortly.
just kind of like thrift stores are your friend. Flea markets, garage sales, they are your friend. In fact,
Consignment
they're
shops.
your master. You will find a reason. Like I love to shop all the time at these places and buy other people's old used stuff, but now I have to because I'm steampunk.
What about you, Sidewinder?
I'm kind of fine with the group, especially with the building stuff. I really fell in love with the look and the idea of doing it yourself instead of. We live in a culture that it's mass-produced stuff. You get, you know, your smartphones, iPods, your computers. You know, I started off with my first computer. I built it.
Yeah.
I got the motherboard. I put the whole thing together.
And didn't you want to just mod the case? I mean, for me, when I built my first computer, the next thing I wanted to do was immediately go and decorate it. And with steampunk, there's so much of that maker aspect to it. People make all kinds of crazy ornate things because we don't want to be part of the whole mass-produced, like, hey, your iPhone looks exactly like everyone else's iPhone, or whatever else you own. Being able to take, like Addison said, things that have existed for a long period of time and then add something of your own, repurpose it, that's a huge part of it, the whole creating something from scratch aspect.
See, I agree with you guys, but my viewpoint was a little different, but they all tie into this because what clicked for me was that there was a period in time where we had the creativity and the imagination and the sense of adventure that just got lost.
Yes.
And it's right there at that Jules Vernean time, the
Yeah.
Victorian age. And so everyone I've run across at steampunk has been incredibly nice. They are not mean. They are not douchebags. They're not asses.
And they're usually very optimistic.
They're always, yes.
Well,
And
because that's what it's about. I mean, just imagine for a second, it's 1880, and you're sitting there in your darkened lounge, and you're trying to read a book, and you've picked up a newspaper, and it says, some crazy guy named Edison has come up with this idea that'll allow you to not only have magic power come into your lamps, but it won't have any soot coming out of it, and it won't darken your curtains, and your fingernails won't be black. It's so optimistic. And you don't see something like that now. Like when we turn on the TV and we see something about technology, it's always like, guess what else is causing your cancer this week?
yeah, it's always
It's not the
negative.
super optimistic, wonderful, like, oh God, the future is great. And I think that a lot of steampunks, we miss that. We miss that whole idea that technology is good. The technology can give us something
And you can
awesome that
do
we're looking
stuff with
forward
it.
to.
Like a few weeks ago, we did Why We're Geeks, and we showed this video where mankind's gonna turn into robots. But it's because that could happen. It's as fantastic as it is. We know it can happen, and we can make it happen.
Dude, I'm totally ready for the singularity.
I was totally ready to put my brain in a robot. I was not.
Yes,
I would totally do it in a
same.
heartbeat. I would, because I would be a superhero robot, have all sorts of fun, you know. And so
Stop.
steampunk it's a culture, it's a state of mind that is lost, and it's so enchanting, and it's so involving, and it's just fun. And it's not like the superhero culture. It's not like the TV culture, because people. I mean, there's nothing good on TV.
Yeah.
Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, anybody? I mean, that show is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
But, you know, why do we have to settle for that? And steampunk to me is about not settling. It's about doing something. That is a beautiful guitar, by the way. It's got shiny things on it and totally distracted me.
It's always distracting.
No, just walk out with the room. He'll start running after it. Just
So to me, that's what steampunk is. And so I think for everybody, they all get this something different from it. Like I didn't expect the thing like 70s and 80s fandom. I'm thinking, you know, bell bottoms and awful colors.
Oh no, it was all like people were making. I mean, I was like barely aware at that point in time, but I've gotten to look back at old photo albums of my family and friends that were going to conventions then. There's very little organized, like what you would think of like Star Wars and Star Trek and whatnot. It's all everybody with like these crazy made up costumes that if you were to walk into a convention today, everyone would be like, what, you made up your own superhero? Seriously?
Like Halloween. It used to be you dressed whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's all licensed stuff.
Exactly.
So I
and
can't
so
really
steampunk
complain.
has that whole, instead of it all being licensed, it's all something that's really unique, that is unique to you, that you're actually looked down upon a little bit if you can't make anything from scratch, or at least reassemble it really nicely.
See, I also heard that too. It's all about making it by hand with
Yeah.
real materials.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's different types of steampunk. I happen to like diesel punk.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that just seems awesome. But you mentioned jet punk. What's the basis of jet punk?
I did mention jet punk.
think
Jet punk
junk.
would be,
Junk punk?
yeah, junk punk.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking jet punk. I was thinking like Jetsons or something.
Yeah, it's
Jetpacks?
like if you look at my stuff, like my jacket's very diesel punk. The rest of my outfit, it's just a button-up shirt that's a little stripy, and then pinstripe cargo pants. But almost everything that I wear is found in the thrift store, flea markets, garage sales, stuff like that, and it's just repurposed. And it basically was junk. Even this, like this guitar over here, was something that I found at a thrift store, and it was just basically being thrown out. And I was like, no, that's inappropriate. It can be used. It still works. Let's give it a new life and a new body, and let's see what we can do with this. So.
And that's one of the great things about the costuming. Not only is it something that you can just go to a thrift store. I mean, as a guy, if you're really interested in getting into steampunk, go to the old suit section, the ones that haven't been selling since the 70s. Find something brown. You know, once you've got, it doesn't have to be brown. Honestly, like
I'm
grays.
just thinking 70s fashion. It was not good.
But the thing is, the
They had airplanes
vests
for
look
collars.
fine. You can get a pair of modern trousers, get a $5 vest from a thrift store, and buy a pair of goggles, and you are set for your first steampunk event. You're done. That's all you need to get started. And so it's so easy to get into, and it's also with the repurposing things. I also find, like, as a woman, it's one of your more flattering fandoms, because let me say, like, as an ample-sized lady, if I show up in, say, a Psylocke costume, oh my God, I will be on the internet, and not for a good reason. But I could show up in this, and it's size appropriate and age appropriate, and it looks good. And so I think you see a lot of women that are attracted to the fandom because they can cover up from their neck to their ankles and still look kind of sexy and still look size appropriate and not get mocked because like, whoa, that slave layer costume fit you in 1996, didn't it?
And that's funny because everyone at the steampunk convention we've been to, they've all been brilliant and nice and appropriate. But we go to the comic conventions and you see some people who really shouldn't be dressed like that. So for you at home, there's a phone number on the screen. Feel free to call in, and we do have, I guess, one person showed up in studio, maybe some more. We do have a podium if you want to talk. Feel free to just walk right up there and ask questions, do whatever you want to do. Don't be shy, because we'll probably call you out towards the end anyways. So we've established junk punk, diesel punk, steampunk. What are the other types?
Patchwork. Patchwork punk.
What's patchwork punk?
Look at my quiver over there.
Oh,
That's-
yes.
And that gets back to the repurposing again.
Kind of like the rough Native American type thing,
Yeah.
maybe? Like Native American steampunk?
Or
That's what you
think Sally from Nightmare Before
Okay.
Christmas. That's actually a really good example right
All right.
there.
Yeah.
The-
There's also a good Western subculture of steampunk,
Western punk, yeah.
Western punk, which I really like myself because so much of the steampunk stuff is very English Victorian. And, you know, we were here in the United States getting shit done at that same period of time. And so it's kind of nice to be able to throw yourself into something that's geographically appropriate.
See, I don't think I've heard of the Western punk because I don't do Western as it is, but that is interesting. I didn't even think
Excuse
about
me,
that.
how can you not love Western if you see these boots?
I've never worn boots.
Like I think it's almost inappropriately not referred to as antebellum punk, but that's pretty much what I would consider it because
That's a good term for it. I like that.
I'm not from across the pond. I don't run around with an English accent. I'm more than happy to be like, I'm from Colorado, but I'm transplanted to Texas, and I want to embrace that. I want to like go with it. If you look at certain geographic areas of Texas, like some groups dress very, very proper, uppity Victorian, upper class, and I was like, that is not me. That is not me at all. Like, I'm working class, I'm vagrant, I don't have a home. So yeah, like I'm gonna do something that's more working class. If you look at certain groups, I mean, there's a very industrial feel to a lot of the stuff that we wear, and it's very like heavy metals, and like it looks almost, it's trashy but elegant. And not in the sense of like trashy in like a trashy way, but trashy and like kind of like, it looks rough, it looks...
It looks worn. It
yeah,
looks like something you
it's
could...
it's a little brutal.
Yeah. A lot of the, I mean, like the airship costumes, for example. I really love the airship mechanic costumes because those are usually like, the ladies aren't in corsets, they might be in a vest, and they usually have some grease smudged on them or some soot or something like that. And they just look like they literally, the good costumes look like they just came out of a boiler room and have been working hard. And so I really like that aspect of the fandom, the idea that there's an acknowledgement that the lower classes existed and they had validity and what they did was important, and not just the ladies who have tea.
So what do you think about the other types of steampunk where they do like the superhero steampunk and the
I
Star
love
Wars
the Nerf
steampunk?
punk. The Nerf punk is absolutely my
What
favorite.
is Nerf punk?
You know the bright colors of Nerf guns?
Uh-huh.
Imagine your whole costume is nothing but bright colors of Nerf guns and those big crazy ponytails and
Someone
whatnot.
keep Pyro away because he is a Nerf fanatic. Lock that door.
Oh, the
It's basically a straight up steampunk outfit, but it's all like bright blues and
Nerf
bright
colors.
oranges and
Yeah.
yellows.
And they've got the
it's-
giant Nerf guns that they
Nerf-
haven't
Yeah, it's actually
repurposed.
one group. I don't know where they're from, but
Atlanta, I
the
think.
infamous photo that's floating around of them on the internet is from Dragon Con.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like 20
Never
of them.
thought Nerf
Oh,
punk.
it's beautiful. And to see them attack somebody,
With
No, no,
Nerf guns.
yes.
I think the most modern one that a lot of people skip over because people don't see a convention culture for it is cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And there actually is a culture for it, but it's not at conventions. It really is. It's more like your raves, your techno concerts, and your industrial shows.
And it also predates mainstream steampunk
Oh,
by
yeah.
quite a bit. I mean, the big cyberpunk books came out in the 80s.
And see, I do kind of like cyberpunk. I forgot all about that
Mm-hmm.
one. I never really associated with the whole steampunk movement, though.
You know, I think because it's not all brown leather,
Yeah.
that,
See,
that
where
there's
you-
still the
like-
whole idea that, like, you know, you could open up your arm and your gun is just going to pop right out.
See, when I think steampunk, I think Wild Wild West, pretty much,
Yeah.
in Jules Verne. That's it. You know, that's all I thought about until we got there. But it always kind of intrigued me, and there's so many different classifications. You can find what you really want to do. Like, we've met and talked with a bunch of the airships, and some of them are really, really nice, and they put a lot of time and effort in those costumings and props. So, what I want to do right now is we brought a bunch of props. I want to bring them out and talk about prop making.
Yeah. And prop making.
Steampunk prop making. So this would pretty much be you two talking because you're the one with all the props. So bring them on out. Let's talk about it.
You mind?
Of
We're all
course.
wireless mic'd, so we can stand up and talk and have all sorts of fun.
Let's see. Let's show you.
Okay, I want to do this one. This is Sidewinder's Tinkerbell wand. He goes, chink! Chink, chink! Okay, what is this?
It's a
Where's the rest
ricochet.
of this? Go get the rest of this. This was for his steampunk superhero outfit, right?
I went to Etherfest right after watching Avengers coming out, so I did Steampunk Hawkeye in honor. So these are my trick arrows.
This would obviously be the bouncy one.
Ricochet shot.
And it actually does bounce. Can I drop it?
Go ahead.
If it breaks, you're not going to blame me, right?
I will still blame you, but go ahead.
I've broken all of his props that he's brought up here. The toys were an absolute nightmare. Now, see, and that's one of the things that steampunk I heard likes is stuff that actually works.
Yes.
You know? And so this one, and what's that made out of? Just stuff you found, right?
It's an arrow shaft that I hot glued a whole bunch of little springs to that I got from a model train store, actually.
And this one.
The time bomb arrow. You always gotta have a time bomb arrow, right?
When do you not need a time bomb arrow, dude?
That's a good point.
But, and see, it has a little clock on it and everything. Fully functional, except it probably doesn't explode, hopefully.
I'm not telling.
We're closer to Addison now.
Yeah, you can stand that way.
Pyro!
And then these two. Don't throw Tinkerbell's wand at me, Legend Larry.
Basically, your average gas or liquid weapon deployment arrows.
And now these, they're really simple to make, it looks like. It's just leather strips and glass bottles. A bunch of,
Springs,
and
hot glue.
that's hot glue, it's silver.
I painted it.
Wow, that's some dedication. Right there. So pull out the rest of your props. Let's look at them.
Ah,
I'll take these. Give me these. I'm not going to shoot you with them yet.
you hang on to this. I don't trust him. Well, there's also the quiver, which was.
Oh, and the sword.
Just fire the sword.
Yeah, here
What
you
are his
go.
other arrows?
The quiver, which falls in that patchwork thing, literally. I couldn't find enough leather big enough, so even part of this is actually a old leather jacket I found in a consignment store, which I nicely cut up and used with all sorts of stuff here, and chicken wire.
I remember when you made that. I had to see what you were making when you were making it, honestly.
Oh.
I just saw like the metal box and thought of shoving pyro in it.
I'm pretty pleased. It's held up pretty good. I walked around almost all day at Etherfest with it. It has not fallen apart yet.
So as prop making, how much did all that cost?
Well, the good leather from Hobby Lobby was a bit more expensive, but that was about $5. The wire wasn't too expensive. I might spend about maybe $30 altogether. Then that's for the leather, the thong material, the metal wiring, and then of course man hours put into it.
I mean, that's all it takes is man hours, and that's really not much. I mean, I expected actually more. I was wondering where you're putting all the money I paid you to go find stuff. Oh yeah, I pay you. Don't tell them that. So you brought some stuff to look at.
I did.
So you can get your railgun ready, but I want to see this jump punk stuff. I said it right this time. John, you didn't bring any props?
I brought booze.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to you afterwards. She
Yes.
brought the drinks.
That's the most important part.
That is the most important part. Wow.
I'm surprised no one actually brought a Maverick, but
A what?
a Nerf Maverick. That's usually what steampunks use. I actually love the way they look, but a lot of people are like, it looks too fake, blah blah blah. But I
Well,
think
they're the intro gun.
I really think the exaggeration of how it looks is really good for steampunk. But
Yeah.
just a paintball gun that I put together a couple years on the side and whatnot.
And so, how much did it cost you to do that?
The gun itself, they actually wanted 15, but since I've got a rapport with my local thrift store, they sold it to me for like $5.
See, and,
And then
It's-
the gear parts are just from clocks.
and what? Don't, no, Death. This is not break. This is not our.
It was already broken.
So, and that's
So-
the other thing I learned at one of those conventions is they really want you to use real stuff. That's got real gears. I mean, it looks real, and you can't find anything like that in the store. You can't just go buy that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is very like some people have a signature to their work.
yeah. So, what is your signature?
Gears and junk.
Gears and junk. I like
Gears
it.
and junk.
What else did you bring?
I brought tons of stuff.
It was pretty awesome, actually.
Have you seen Sidewinder railgun?
What
It's
is
the big
what
thing
is
on the
that?
table.
Oh, this?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but it looks awesome.
It's a flamethrower slash.
Someone lost
spike
fire up. There's a
thrower, so-
flamethrower in play.
It does not work. If I could remember the story well, there's a reason why it doesn't. There was a member of an airship who went across state lines with an actual working flamethrower he had put together.
I heard the story, and they said that he can't keep doing it. He had to junk
Yeah,
it.
he actually took it apart over there. But yeah, it's
really know what I'm
it's
doing,
actually
by the
really
way.
funny how this thing's put together. It's just a gas hose,
Someone get a close-up shot of this.
a couple of light bulb holders, a metal brace thing I found in my friend grandma's garage, and yeah, that is one of the best places you can actually look for steampunk stuff. Is your grandmother's garage or a friend's grandmother's garage. These are actually poles from solar lights that you would find in gardens. This is just a blowtorch piece, a gauge, and then I would love for everybody to try and guess what the centerpiece is.
What this? That looks like something from like a kerosene lantern or something.
That's what people usually guess.
Okay, so I'm guessing I'm even like usual most everyone.
It's something that's meant to open and close. Very scientific.
I don't know what is it.
Well, not to be cheesy, but it's part of a fondue set.
So, did you say this thing actually worked at one time?
No. I could, but I don't want to go to prison. Because yeah,
please.
it would be considered a weapon of mass destruction.
Perfectly legal under flamethrower.
Shut up, Pyro, go away.
Farm machinery.
Yeah, somebody get power out of here.
So it's functional, it works, it turns, I mean, it's just freaking awesome.
And it's very G.D. Folkson with the look, you know?
So how much did that one cost you?
Honestly, a lot of the parts were scavenged and whatnot. Probably the most expensive piece would be the clock movement and this, and that's like no more than $5. And this was part of a fondue set I bought for 20, and I actually built some other stuff out of it. So I actually got my money out of the entire thing. So I was going to save it for a guitar, but it was just too perfect for this piece.
And so I'm looking at it thinking, you know, what if, I mean, it's not that hard to make, right? I mean, things like this,
As long as
you
you're a
have
good
some sort of
scavenger.
a scavenger and you have an imagination, you can really put together whatever you want.
It is fun to wear for 8 hours, dragging on your arm, or just holding it up like this for the last 5 minutes. 'Cause, you know, my arms are getting tighter.
So that's what I think a lot of people look at it like, oh, there's no way I can make that. But really, you could if you just got pieces. Go, you know, people leave stuff on the side of the road all the time. Go steal some bed springs.
Yeah,
Go
the number one thing that I would recommend to anyone that's looking to make something steampunky for the first time is think outside the gearbox. You don't actually need to glue gears onto every single thing that you've seen to make it
I
look
would have.
steampunky.
That's what I would have thought.
Like one of the things that's great about this is the really focal part is the middle there. It's not like there are some gears, and maybe they do something, but it's not. He didn't just paste 90 gears onto it. So that makes it steampunk. You know, this bow is steampunk if you put enough gears on it.
There's no gears on that boat.
You know, therefore it can't be steampunk.
There-
Apparently.
nope.
And
if you
I-
put goggles on there.
and have a zeppelin floating off of the top of it. Yeah.
Well, see, the goggles thing I think is a giant misconception because it was one of the first things I built, and I was like, yeah, that's great, I am enjoying them, it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. And I started building all this other stuff, and I'm like, forgot the goggles. No one cares why, because they know you're steampunk. They can tell from the rest of the stuff that you have. So it's never necessarily goggles or gears.
Yeah.
So pull out your railgun. Now this was actually one of the first props I think I've seen someone I know make, and it blew me away.
It's actually multiple pieces. The back. Okay.
Hold it.
No.
He's no fun.
Well, I think I use the exact same things to make sure that all the wires next to my computer are all gathered into one place.
So what is this entirely made out of?
All right. This one didn't cost as much. Mostly it was getting raw materials of like paint and the glue, because it was my first build that cost. Almost all the pieces came from stuff that I had lying around the house. This is a body of an old Nerf, what was it, Hawkeye gun? Something like that. It's like one of those things that has the laser sight there. This sight is actually the core piece of the gun piece. When I took it apart, this was actually what you put the projectile into, and it would shoot out. And I thought, hey, it looks like a scope. So I turned it around and put it up there. It's now a scope. This is the bottom half of a beach umbrella handle.
Nice. And so this was actually the first thing I saw someone making. Granted, it was on a really big scale, but it just looks so intriguing and amazing to me. I mean, and then it broke because Pyro broke it.
Oh,
Pyro breaks everything. That's why he wears the insolence bucket a lot. But yeah, I mean, just find stuff around your house as well. I mean, he had the Nerf gun, and apparently Nerf guns make really good props
They
anyways. You
really
just paint
do.
them and glue stuff on them.
Well, they're very big, and they've got the multiple barrels and whatnot.
bullet.
I think that really gives it that antique look, because modern guns are very sleek and small, and you
Yeah.
can shoot with them, whereas the older guns were all kind of large, and if you're going to imagine that you're putting, rocket sights on the side of it, a Maverick, which is the classic gun that, like, it's $15, I got a can of brown spray paint.
Oh, I know what you guys are talking about now. Pyro has a whole bunch of those.
I got two myself. By the way, want to see the action on this thing?
Yeah.
This is the bullet, by the way.
It's a big bullet.
Slips in there nicely.
Functions and everything.
Are you going to shoot him with it now?
Oh no.
Actually, that's a pretty good idea.
No. You can put it through the wall. Pyro's on the other side. So, and then he came with something on his hand. And I'm already
I'm not
intrigued
trying
by
to be offensive.
it. What is that? Because that's in your picture. I thought you were just flipping us off in that picture, to
No,
be
no.
honest.
It is I call it the little MFer. It's not what you think it is. It's middle finger. It's middle finger. But it's actually nothing more than a tactical glove that I sprayed painted the top part and used on the
Do
coating.
you have a thing for brown gold glitter?
Well, it's just a really convenient spray paint they make from Krylon. So, and it looks really, really good.
It does, because I noticed on the other things, I started thinking, is that your signature gold glitter?
A cable splitter. That's actually part of a decorative piece for a clock. Part of a lamp. Apothecary bottle, a very small one. It was another little section on a lamp, and then a plumbing piece, and then a tiny little gear from a guitar machine head. So
And I love it. It's so simple. Hot glued, right? Super glued?
I'm actually super glued in E6000 because the combo of those are great. And if you're going to use them, wear a mask and outside, and be over 18.
That's the big thing. Okay, so what did you bring out?
This is the rest of the railgun piece. This is the backpack rig, the battery pack for it.
So this kind of looks to me like junk funk.
Well, pretty much pieced
You
it together.
agree?
I don't feel like you have to label every single thing. I mean, one of the fun things about steampunk is you can have like a Boba Fett steampunk outfit, and that's perfectly valid. You can have.
You didn't actually break it. They just slipped out the holders.
It's dropping ammo.
I thought he broke it this time.
I have a habit of breaking Sidewinder stuff. But when I first looked at it, that's the first thing I thought, but it's really cool looking. I don't think I saw this part of it. Is this what the railgun connects to?
Yeah, the railgun connects to it, and this is supposed to be worn over. The idea is that you have the conduit running from here to here, and then from the gun to here. This is your battery pack. You wind the dynamo to charge the gun.
Oh, you're
Switch to turn on.
Wow. Wind it up.
Well, how else are you going to have a portable power supply?
Not very handy if you're being attacked by, let's say, a creeper or something.
Yeah, but they're
He's-
armed with something as
Hey,
primitive as you are.
hey,
Yes.
you see this bullet? You just got him once.
Yeah, but you gotta load it. And I'm dropping bullets. Wind up. Hold on, don't hit me yet, don't hit me yet.
They're over there.
You see the size of that thing?
Just like pumping on there. Ah, please don't charge yet.
Steampunk battles, man. Yeah, wind up. No.
Yeah, steampunk battles, you could have tea in the middle. You're like, excuse me, you keep pumping that over there. Let me know when your gun's ready. I'm having a drink.
Hey, well, you see the size of that gun, okay? Obviously, I'm shooting from a distance away. You got a lot of sprinting to get up to me.
What if they're the Flash? They can run really fast. Deflected, yeah! And what'd you bring over?
Well, a bandolier, they're really easy to make. You just need a couple, usually thick belts. One's actually a Gap belt, which you're like, ooh, super expensive. It's $2 from a thrift store. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. That's the one I was waiting on.
Yeah, look at the red
We're
light.
all kind of facing here, so. That is from my friends at Tata Boutique. $2 bottle
I have
thrift
to ask
store.
real quick. What's with the octopus and steampunk? It's everywhere.
It is. People like tentacles.
I thought it was maybe Cthulhian, but
Anime
A lot of people
influence.
assume that.
that's what I
But yeah.
thought. But it's everywhere, and it's kind of cool. Like I've seen the wine corks and the phone holders.
I
and-
think it comes from people that also like anime, and maybe the tentacles.
I wasn't going to go there.
We're not going
I
there.
wasn't gonna go there.
Dad was walking off. He knows about hentai.
And then,
Matilda's quiet back there. She's
Like this is all just pieced together from various finds from thrift stores. Aside from that, so this is actually a World War II ammo holder. So is this one they should run? They run about $20 to $30 a piece. I got them from a thrift store in Colorado for $2 a piece.
Do you have one of those outlet thrift stores like we have here? Because I sent Sidewinder and Pyro to the outlet thrift store where every last bit goes into, and it's just bins of stuff, and they sell it by weight, and they came home with a trunk full of stuff.
A couple.
Yeah, those things are awesome. And it was perfect for finding stuff to make with.
And that's what I realized how much fun I had with it. Number one, I knew I was into something because after the week I spent on this railgun, I didn't end it and go, I'm done. I'm never doing this again. I wanted to do another one. I wanted to do something else. And now all of a sudden, it's so different now, especially walking in the thrift stores, because now all of a sudden, I look at things, you see them differently. They're not just the lamp you see over there or that plate. All of a sudden, someone I knew gave me a couple of aquarium filters. They said they kind of looked interesting, so I could use them for something. I look at them and I saw ray guns. I'm sitting there going, I'm looking at a couple of aquarium filters and I'm seeing ray guns.
See, like this portable humidor. Nope. Now it's a map holder. This actually, the basing on the back of the weapon of mass destruction over there is actually from a saddlebag I got for like $8. Used that I bought it just for the backing, and then I was like, what else can I use this for? I took the top piece and built my holster out of it. So, and then we were talking about Nerf guns. That needs repainting a little bit, but yeah.
Nerf
it's,
guns, they're so easy to paint. Pyro loves
well, I mean,
painting
like
Nerf
the
guns.
designs, since it's a little exaggerated, it really works with steampunk, I
Yeah.
think. So this one's just a lot of fun.
Oh God, that is
Nice.
So,
the more
we-
clicky motions.
costumes, props. Let's talk about culture. Now, there's a bunch of books here, and you wrote a book.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
All right, so I want to see some of these drinks in this book. This should be interesting. She wrote Steam Drunks. Okay, I'm not quite sure. I mean, just the title alone is pretty interesting. So, explain to me your idea behind Steam Drunks.
Well, as I said, I've got a master's degree in history. I'm a lifelong science fiction fan. Like, my parents took me to it. And yes, there will be more for you, I promise. And it was kind of inevitable that I would write this because I've also been a food and beverage writer for a few years. And so I was at some science fiction conventions, and there were, goddamn, sorry, with your thing. People were walking around like, absinthe is wonderful. Absinthe is the best thing ever. And I just wanted to just smash them.
No, not this.
No, smash the absinthe.
Yeah, that one's go ahead and destroy it. I don't mind.
Because the thing about absinthe is, it's gotten this wonderful reputation now because it was expensive and an import and things like that. But at the time that, like in the 1880s, 1890s and whatnot, the only people drinking absinthe were like sister shaggers like Byron because it was the cheapest bottom of the barrel Polish import. It tastes like ouzo that's been run through someone's gym socks. And so I just wanted to see what people were actually drinking at that point in time. Not ouzo and gym socks, it turns out.
Oh,
And
damn.
I know, but there are some recipes that are really close. So this is actual 101 genuine Victorian recipes with occasional help with some modern things. For example, I don't like things that are curdled. And I assume that most of you out there that are watching this are just not that fond of anything that has like a good, healthy, 3-day-old, halfway to being paneer
That's
cheese.
not right.
So
So what are you going to make?
I am going to make, well, let's start with the simpler one. I went ahead and got, since we're on the moon and we launched from Austin, I went ahead and got me some local gin. I apologize for that. So
Well,
we're gonna
it's better than asking for the stuff that Pyro tries to make.
the other thing is if you ever want to make some, I have no idea which camera because none of the lights are on.
I think we're on.
Are we on this one?
No, two.
Two? Okay.
Okay,
So
sorry.
if you want to make some actual authentic, like really get the flavor of the steampunk cocktail, don't get your top of the line alcohols. You want to go to the bottom of the barrel, like get the stuff that's like maybe $6.
Like hobo booze?
Oh yeah, get your hobo booze. Maybe go to a prison, see if you can get some toilet alcohol from them.
I've had some of that. It's not really that bad.
You know, and then you need to run it through again a homeless person's gym socks. So this is a little too classy for that. But we're gonna make a very classic period, drink from that period where you take some cucumber, put it in there, take some fresh mint leaves, and then whoops. And then you want to muddle it at the bottom of this. And muddle just means beat the living shit out of it.
We
with
like doing that
something.
up here.
You know what? Just beat it like it's an indentured servant that's not obeying.
Pyro!
Beat it like it's a prostitute that you don't plan on paying later
Pyro!
on. Just, you can't beat it enough. You really can't. And then once you've got that in there, you're going to add a couple teaspoons of sugar, which I have classily taken from a convenience store. And some ice water. It should be ice, but it's had a hard time with things lately.
It's hot in here under these lights.
We're in Texas. Doesn't matter. It's not going to make it.
And then, you know, I've got this here as though I was going to measure out the gin. Screw it. It's just
Woohoo! I like her already.
gin. Because honestly, anytime, if you're looking at actual period cocktails here, can you shake this for me? What I need you to do is just grab close to your crotch and just shake it really hard.
Don't look, Matilda.
I need you to pound that for me.
He's gonna do this way too well.
Like you're contemplating what lies above a lady's ankles. Just, go nuts with it.
It's like you're shaking a baby.
You know what, here? Clearly, okay. I would think he would have more practice with that, but apparently he has a girlfriend, so.
Matilda, why don't you go do it?
Hand it off.
I'm gonna get hit later. I'm telling you now, if I'm not here next week, it's because they killed me.
Go ahead and strain all the solids out of that. And strain some more of the solids out of that. And that's actually about 2 drinks, but I only have 2 glasses here, and the other one's for the dairy, so we'll just pass that around. And
Oh, yay. I'm going to die.
He gives me the test subject.
That's why I'm here.
Surprisingly not bad. I
Surprise-
can't taste the gin. It's nice.
see, that's the advantage. The cucumber and the mint together really cover up the gin flavor. And any period drinks you're going to find,
Wow, that is actually really good.
their goal
It's very
was to
minty.
cover up the flavor of the alcohol, because the alcohol was, it was pine sol. You could clean your floors with it. There you go. And then for the other one,
Oh, wow.
I
That
need
was actually
something
really
to
good.
empty this into. Can I just empty it on the edge of your tablecloth and get that cleaned up later?
Yeah.
All right, let me have that
Actually, I
back.
think
in
we
a
have a
second.
trash can somewhere.
Oh, a trash can would be ideal.
Someone bring the trash can.
Trash
Pyro!
can. I hadn't
We
thought
won't
about that.
beat you, Pyro. Bring the trash can.
You say please for once.
He won't
Please,
beat
for
you,
once.
but if you ask nicely, we can talk later.
Oh, please, you don't want to beat him. You'll never get that off of you ever. You'll be feeling that for the rest of your life.
The next one, while we're waiting on the trash can, I can just talk about.
Oh, I'm out of this one. There's raw eggs involved. I'm out.
The Victorians really loved raw eggs and dairy and citrus, and because I don't hate you all and want you
no
to
instance
die,
bucket, but
I'm
it'll
not
do.
actually getting any of the citrus drinks. There we go. But to make a good authentic, we would start with a little bit of whiskey, because however much you think is appropriate, they drank more.
Whatever you think is appropriate, they name it.
Why would you ruin whiskey like that? I'm going to cry on camera. This is horrible.
Oh, thank you.
I just slid the table.
I'm with
More
Addison. Why
sugar.
would you ruin that way?
What did he do?
I just cracked the egg directly into it.
I'll give you a good home.
You
don't
know,
have to-
this
you
is
don't have
how
to
we
worry
usually,
anymore.
either we use
You
a
know.
shiny thing,
And then
or
also
we...
some salt, which again, fresh packets from Sonic.
guys are
Because
not
they would
right.
add sugar and salt to just about everything. It was pretty vile. And make sure you've pierced that egg. And, you know, for you guys, this is an organic free-range egg.
It don't matter. It's still an egg.
Rocky wouldn't drink this.
That's what I get for being too enthusiastic when mixing this drink.
Well, someone bring some paper towels. Pyro!
All right.
For one.
No, we either use shiny objects or eggs to get rid of.
Oh,
So-
she's pouring. It's so gross. I'm gonna throw up if I look at it.
Is that legal to put on cable TV?
It
It's
should
like a
not
money
be.
shot in the glass.
It
Seriously.
should- Oh, shit. Oh. Sidewinder, are you gonna try it?
I'm not sure.
Hey, our studio audience lady, come and try this.
Studio audience. It's a tiny bit salty, but that makes it period authentic.
Oh, oh.
There you go. Brave and daring.
Bottoms up, good God.
The girls are making us look bad, even though I
That's
didn't say I
true.
was. It's got whiskey in it. Whiskey kills everything. So.
You know what?
What's
If,
next?
Let me see.
All right.
if that was ice cold, it would be so much better. It would have a very eggnoggy flavor, but because it's room
can see
temperature eggs, I
Killing you yet?
Would you like to find out? Sure.
You gotta yell Cobra after you're done.
Cobra!
are you brave and daring, sir?
No, no, no.
Have you heard stories about me?
Now I'm gonna know all the stories are true.
Chug!
Surprisingly not bad, but I'm sure the tapeworm will catch up with me tomorrow.
You can
chickens
buy
don't have
pasteurized
tapeworms, that's
eggs to
salmonella.
actually make
Oh,
these
that's even
things
better.
with, but yeah.
Salmonella. We don't want to. So I would never have thought about that, but you were telling me they also use curdled milk.
They
and-
used curdled milk in damn near everything. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They would actually put the citrus and the dairy in something, let it sit for 2 full days outside, room temperature, and then stir it all up and take the curdles and use them to decorate the rest of a pitcher. Which is why, boys and girls at home, don't make authentic period Victorian drinks. Try these instead. You won't die.
We don't know yet. We'll see if they die tomorrow from the raw egg.
I'll let
He'll
you know
never
if
come
their
back on their show if he gets tapeworm.
Hey,
Or worse.
I'll let you know if their list shows up.
All right.
Show up on the list.
So we talked about drinks and drinking. There's also games.
There are.
Like here's the Tefra game from local Cracked Monocle, which is actually for you, our studio audience member. Come up and get it.
Yay!
It's signed and everything.
Hot diggity.
Come to the show. Every person's a winner.
Yeah, we like to give stuff away when we have actual audience members. And
Food
there's also
and books, I'm
books, but we're not giving those away. These are all Sidewinder books. So
Not yet.
are they good books? Like I know Jules Verne is good. He's like one of my favorite
No,
books.
I keep trash books in my library. What?
You probably do.
I almost got, but
I got your book.
just in time.
And so, you know, we have all this culture thing, and I see it kind of, oh, you really did make a mess.
Yeah.
Pyro!
I've got a couple dead
Mom!
baby chickens right over here.
Why do you keep calling me? I'm not doing anything wrong!
We're hoping.
What do you need?
So you were asking
Mom.
about culture while he's apparently
Yes.
going to mop my skirt?
Yes, he's going to mop your shirt.
You're
So
gonna mop?
steampunk culture,
Yes.
it's very different apparently from what they thought the Victorian era was, like curdled milk and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That sounds delicious, actually.
Okay, we can come sit back down now. I think we're done making drinks. I hope we're done making drinks. I don't think I take any more egg. Looking at, okay, now I'm going to sit down. I'm going to throw up here in a second.
You should do it again.
Shall we all?
Yeah, let's all rejoin to our seats here.
Oh.
Yes, so
Steampunk culture is very different from actual Victorian culture. For one thing, it's not overtly racist in every possible way.
very much so.
You know, there's a huge amount of multiculturalism in steampunk. Like, there's multiple websites for it and whatnot. There's the whole acknowledgement that like people that are lower class are actually equal to you as far as intrinsic human value, which is totally not period. It's
Very
us
much not
looking
so.
back at the Victorians and going, that's a nice idea, and I like their clothes and their fashion sense. Not just their fashion sense, but you know their aesthetic is pretty fun. Screw their social values. We're just gonna roll with the good parts.
I don't think you can keep those social values because back then social values were really just screwed up.
I disagree.
Oh, really?
Do you really? Why?
Actually, at the point of, at that time, like especially in America, you had civil rights going crazy. Like this is when women started fighting for votes. This is when people started fighting for free rights for every man. It doesn't matter their color
We're
of their
talking about the
skin. And like,
Victorian age.
yeah, but mainly in
I'm not a history
America,
person.
and mainly in America, and
There were the first stirrings of it there, but I mean, it was 20 years after the Civil War. It's not like people were really that.
actually, well, Victoriana took place during that time. But
Yeah.
remember, like I'm thinking right here, not across the pond.
Yeah, yeah.
And I myself would love to see us take that that kind of idea, that kind of inner fire, and run with it. And like, there's so much going on in the world now that we can take a lot of cues from then to establish something and like run forward with it. I mean,
You would
there's still
think
there's
they
still
would-
pe-
they
there's
would
still
learn
people
by
fighting for their rights and trying to just get equality, and that was a big thing back then. And I think sadly a lot of the aesthetic has covered up a lot of the substance inside of that. So like I myself, even though I'm extremely steampunk, the songs that I write actually go back to that era, and they promote those ideas, and they promote the idea of getting pissed off and changing something. That's really, it's something that's kind of been discounted, but it's something I'd love to see brought back into steampunk.
Which I totally agree. We are at that phase in our world where people are fighting for equality.
Yeah.
And you'd think they would have learned by now. We've done it how many times now? 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, but the great thing about America is no matter how much people fight back and go, oh, I'm going to deny you your rights, the story of America is the majority always being overruled and saying, you're wrong, the minority actually is important. We did it with African Americans, we've done it with women, we're going to be doing it with gays very shortly. I mean, the Republicans are trying really hard, but
Yeah,
turns out we really don't care who marries who, we being most of America.
You marry who you want to marry.
Yeah.
It's a legal institution. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you can marry a horse, you can marry a dude if you're a dude. It's completely cool.
But if it's a male horse marrying a male horse,
That's
that's
wrong.
just wrong.
So now that what I'm throwing out there is the egg. Sorry. Now that steampunk's becoming more mainstream, do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing? Because I'm afraid it's going to go to the route of the Hot Topic route, where you see the guys go from
It always
old
They're trying that, and it's just not working. Like, I think the only copied things you're going to see are the store-bought goggles. Other than that, like, everything, it's so, like, for girls, no matter what size they are, it's form-fitting, so they have to make their own outfits. For guys, like, I myself, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, so it's just slacks and a vest. That's not me. I'm not doing that. And that's how I came up with this, but that's steampunk. You just cannot make cookie cutter. You can't. Like I've got one piece they sell at stores because it's actually pretty nifty and cool. But the same place they sell like little bags of gears and stuff. They don't interlock you. They don't. You have to sew them or glue them on something. And a lot of steampunks don't want to do that. They would rather not. Like they might use them for an aesthetic for like the cover of a book or something like that. But as far as like something wearable, they're not going to bother with that. I think people who are especially builders, and that's what the culture is. Like if you go to a steampunk convention, it's really hard for those guys to sell a lot of stuff, especially to steampunk fans. They look at people like me, and they're like, "That's oh man, he's not going to buy anything, is he?"
Yeah.
No, I'm not, because I make
It's
everything
the
that I
accessories
have.
that people buy, and especially people that are new to it. I mean, one of the things I've seen that I keep meaning to pick up at a convention are the fake light bulbs that are actually just a little flask where you can just unscrew the
Yes.
bottom of it, and I'm not going to make one of those at home because I don't blow glass. So that's something that would be worth buying, but it would be one of many things hanging on a belt, kind of like your steampunk bat belt of just like random crap that you're carrying around. And half of that's going to be stuff you bought sometimes, and half of it's going to be stuff that you've made yourself because it's custom to whatever you're doing.
I'm certainly for supporting artists and artisans and whatnot, but when I'm trying to find something that I actually want to buy, it's got to be something really unique, something that like even if I can make it, their take is just so unique that I have to have what they've made.
Yeah.
And see, at these conventions when I see the booths, I don't ever see outside of accessories. They're not really buying anything.
Yeah.
There are people
Well,
who will make. They're like costumers. They make costumes and they'll do it custom. But I just didn't understand the idea of we're going to sell a booth of like here's some gloves. Okay, no, you can go find them yourself. I don't want to pay $35 for that because it's really overpriced.
But then again, I mean, there are some people, like a lot of the steampunks who go to conventions all the time with their own outfits. They have the time, they have the knowledge, they have the know-how. They want to. Other people who just really appreciate it, who want to dress that way. That's why the artisans are there. Because you can ask any of these guys, doesn't matter what airship they're with, how big they are. Most of the time, if you ask them how they build it, they're going to sit down and tell you, because there is a lot of friendliness in steampunk, and we keep a very open idea of passing on knowledge and information to anybody who wants to know.
Yes, I actually learned that at Etherfest. I keep.
Well, especially in
Etherfest.
Texas, we're really big on passing on knowledge. You can go to any of our groups like SCARS, Steampunk Illumination Society, Dealing with Grandeur, Sarah's Reviews in Steampunk. Ask somebody like, hey, how do I blah, 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 blah. Like 20 responses right off the bat. They're just going to like whatever they can give you, they're going to give you.
Out of curiosity, do you actually gargle whiskey and smoke a cigar before any appearance you make?
I was born with a devil in my throat, so.
Well, I
So-
think it's time to listen to hear him talk.
Yeah, speaking of that, we're going to wrap this up with another song from Addison Mad.
That was quick.
And what is this one called?
This one is The Poison Fiend.
All right, so we'll be right back and say our goodbyes.
Volume would be nice. Okay, something is going on here. Somebody's turning off. Okay, sound okay? Okay. Lydia Tinberry, do not say to Mary, nor ask for food or drink. She is the poison queen. In 1840 1945. No one was left alive. No evidence seen of her tea poisoning and her viciously after bouts of drinking put poison in his soup and killed the children too. The poison queen took out policies before killing the whole family. Trip for misdeed apothecary, she put poison in that sea. In 1868, Lydia remarried to Dennis Hurlburt, killed by Queen Poisoner. No need for policy, as he was quite wealthy. Took all of his estates and pissed the wealth away. Migraines, dementia, the trots, and fatigue are only the beginning. Vomiting blood in your piss, cramping, loss of hair, stomach pain, writhing. Liver, skin, lungs, kidneys, all affected and won't stop till coma or death. Untraceable chemical, cause we didn't know about detection or forensics. Lydia steadily grayed, brought her a new family, became Mrs. Sherman, killed off Nelson's children. In 1871, Nelson was grief-stricken, and now his end had come. With hot chocolate poison, Dr. Beardsley notified the police. He did find arsenic in poor Nelson's stomach. Killed 2 stepkids and 3 husbands and 6 of her own children. She tried to flee to New York City. She was caught and brought back to the Bay. guilty of murder in the second degree, labeled her poison fiend. Lydia Sherman handed down a life sentence. In 1878, she died in Wethersfield prison. Thank you very much.
So, that's all the time we have for tonight. It went by really quick. Thank you, Addison Mad, for coming. Thank you, Chris, Rachel Oslin. You can find you on Facebook.
Yes, Addison Mad at Facebook.com. Also, I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion. I'm playing Steampunk November. Look it up on Facebook. It's run by the guys in Cut, Thrust, and Run. It'll be awesome. I'm also doing Alcon next March. And I will be doing Comicpalooza. Hopefully, Professor Elemental will be there, along with Marquita Vaudeville. So I will see you guys then.
And they can find you at...
Find me on Amazon.com, Chris Rachel Osland, or just Google Steam Drunks. All the reviews are for me.
So that's it. Next month, we're going into full-on Halloween mode. So next week is the zombie apocalypse and you. We're going to have all the weapons you could possibly use in the zombie apocalypse, and are they going to be good for you? So we will see you then. You can always come be in our audience. Go online, diabolicleague.com. You'll see a live events tab. It's lots of fun. And so we will see you all next week.
Steampunk, get some!
Yeah! I didn't break it. I didn't break anything this time. You cannot.
You didn't break
You should have tried harder.